Today we're going to talk about polar coordinates. It's section 7.3. Of course, this is a rectangular coordinate system where you have an x and a y. These are polar coordinates where it's not x and y. It is actually r and theta. So r theta is your ordered pair, not x, y. At the center here, that would be called the pole, not the origin. And this is your polar axis. All right, so in order to plot a point, we simply go to 40 degrees. So from here, we go to positive direction, 40 degrees. And we just simply go out 3 units then. 1, 2, 3. So that would be point A. To plot B, we go 3 pi over 4. So from the polar axis in the positive direction, we're going to go to 3 pi over 4, which is over here. But it's a negative 2, so we don't go in the direction of the terminal side. We have to come backwards the other direction, so that's how you do negatives. And there would be point B. And this is what a polar graph paper looks like. I uploaded a Word document that has a polar graph, a PDF document that has a polar graph, and I also took a picture of one on Google Classroom. So all 3 of them are there. You can decide which one's the easiest for you. Be nice to print a couple of them off to have them, or you can use them on your computer. It's entirely up to you. But we're just going to go through and plot some points. So we're going to go 315 degrees and 3 units. So 315 degrees is going to be over here. That would be 7 pi over 4, 315. And we're going to go out a positive 3. So from the center, we're going to come out 1 unit, 2 units, and 3 units. So there's where point A is. Point B is going to be pi. So again, we're going to come around to pi, but it's negative. So we're going to go in the opposite direction, 2 units. So right there would be B. And C is negative pi over 2. So negative pi over 2 is in the negative direction, so we're going to come this way. So there's a negative pi over 2. But it's also a negative 4, so I have to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to be up here in the positive pi over 2, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And right there is point C. So not too difficult to graph these points. Okay, so we're going to plot this one point here, this 4 or 5 pi over 6. So we just come around to 5 pi over 6, and we're going to come out 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're on 5 pi over 6. So that's our point. But now we want to take a look at this point, and I want to rewrite it. That r is going to be positive, but I want my angle to be between 2 pi and 4 pi. So that means I'm going to come around here, and I'm just going to have to come around 2 pi more. So basically, I'm going to take 4 is still going to be positive. I'm going to take this 5 pi over 6, and I'm going to add 2 pi to it. So that's going to be 12 pi over 6, or the point could be 4 and 17 pi over 6. And that would give me the same exact point that I have here. All right, I want to be negative, and r is between 0 and 2 pi. So between 0 and 2 pi, I have to go positive direction, but if r is negative, I have to come over here to 11 pi over 6, so basically just adding pi to it. So r is going to be negative now. That's going to be a negative 4, and we would have to be at 11 pi over 6. That is also a same representation of that point. And if I want r to be positive, and r is going to be between 0 and negative 2 over pi, well, r still has to be positive. But now I need to be a negative angle. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to come in this direction. So how far is that? Well, that's a negative 7 pi over 6, because here's 6 pi over 6 negative. One more is going to be a negative 7 pi over 6. So back to that unit circle, knowing it and being able to use it really well. All right, well, due to the AP exam still going on, that's all we're going to do today. We're going to take it a little slower. So we're just going to be plotting points for homework. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please keep them coming on Google Classroom.